Have you been wanting to get into Airbnb? Are you like me where you really didn't know what to expect when jumping into the world of Airbnb and short-term rentals? Or maybe you were just like, I'm not gonna make that much money doing it and it's not guaranteed rent like I get from my long-term rentals every month. Well, don't fret guys, I'm here to share some insight on my Airbnb that I run out of my house. I currently run 2 bedrooms out of my house that I live in. I house hack. And so I'm going to share with you exactly how much I made on Airbnb last month. What's up guys? Thanks for tuning in to the channel. I'm Braden Flack. This is actually my debut on YouTube in terms of actually making a video. I'm going to focus this channel a lot on real estate investing here in Wyoming and what I do. And I hope that maybe you'll find it useful, some of the tips that I've learned along the way. I have both long-term and short-term rentals, and I think my plan is to actually move all of my long-term rentals over to short-term rentals, and in this video I'm gonna share why. So today we're gonna chat a little bit about short-term rentals, specifically Airbnb, and how much I've made in the last month here in Rock Springs, Wyoming, which is a very small community. And so we're not talking about a big city like Los Angeles or Chicago or anything like that. We're talking about a small town in Wyoming and how much money I'm making on Airbnb. I do want to touch on a few things first before we get into exactly how much I make. And the first thing I wanted to cover was who exactly is staying at my Airbnb here in Rock Springs, Wyoming. Where we're kind of located here on I-80, a lot of traffic comes through here as they're going up to Jackson, Pinedale, on up to Yellowstone. And so we do get a lot of tourism here in the summer, as well as a lot of local events here. So maybe that's kind of a little bit of a difference first off that I wanted to point out was I have a lot of people coming here that are working, they're not looking to really, come here for vacation per se, but they're here to stop for a night on their way to somewhere like Yellowstone. And so, you wouldn't think a lot of people would be using Airbnb in my area, but they are. And there's actually quite a few hosts in our area as well. So it's growing. I think that there's opportunity if you live in a smaller community, especially in one where a lot of people are traveling through, where you can make a lot of good money that you may be missing out on. So think outside the traditional Airbnb. Most people are going to Airbnbs or think of Airbnb, when they're talking about going on vacation, right? It's a place that you're going to travel to, you want to experience things. And so, Airbnb is a very popular option for people. But think outside of the box, it doesn't have to be that reason why someone's using an Airbnb. And as I've discovered, a lot of it's because of people coming to work or passing through for a night or two. So don't think that people don't use Airbnb just because they're not going on vacation. All right, next, I'm usually asked, how much time is involved with running these Airbnbs that you do, Braden? As far as Airbnb goes, you are managing people on a daily basis. So it is a little bit more involved. If you're doing it yourself, not hiring an Airbnb co-host to kind of take over the whole process for you. But it is something that does take a little bit more time. Between doing laundry, if you have a couple sets of sheets, you don't have to do laundry every single day, but 15 minutes to make the bed, wipe up the bathroom, and we're ready for our next guest. Now this kind of brings me to my next point, which I kind of wanted to talk about, which is how much do I charge for a night in my Airbnb in my room? Because it is a shared space, so a guest is not coming here and getting an entire home to themselves. They're just getting a room. I'm still living here. I potentially have another guest staying here as well. And so, you're kind of limiting the number of people who are gonna stay at my type of Airbnb simply because of comfort, You're not gonna find as many people who wanna engage with other people like that. As far as how I price my nights, I use a tool called Price Labs. Price Labs is a tool that can actually be used to, scour data on Airbnb based on, popularity with that date, how much demand is there for it, as well as comparing to other prices in the market. And then it adjusts automatically every 24 hours based on the updated data that it has and pulls from Airbnb, and then it prices my calendar automatically for me so that I don't have to go in there and actually change the prices every single day. So that way I'm actually maximizing the amount of revenue that I'm, otherwise not leaving out there on the table if I just set it at a flat rate. With that said, my minimum price for a night is $42, and that goes on up to, I believe, $70 is kind of the max that I put in there. So yeah, if someone were to book my Airbnb tonight for $42, they would actually, after all is said and done, end up paying a total of $71 for the night, which, tell me where you can get a hotel for $71 a night and have great company like myself with you. So, okay, so let's get to the meat and potatoes of this whole video, which is how much did I make on Airbnb in the month of May of 2023. Now, it might shock you, but I made just under $1,500 with the exact total coming in at $1,497. Now, one of my rooms was actually rented out for a few weeks in May, and he paid a flat rate of $350. And then between the two rooms, I had booked out through the rest of the month. It ended up bringing in $1,147, which brings us to a total of $1,497. Now, to put that into perspective, if I was to rent my rooms out, which I did last year, I had a long-term tenant who had been with me for a couple years, one of my friends, and I was renting out that room to him for $360 a month, and then we split half the utilities. So on average, it probably came out to around $500 a month for that room. And at the same time, I actually had the other room, which I didn't really have on Airbnb at the time, and so really I went from making $360 a month in rent to now just shy of $1,500 to start the summer of 2023 in May, which I feel like is pretty incredible. So, despite having to do the extra, cleaning, the extra management with people and messaging them, making sure that they get check-in instructions, to me, it's worth it, Now, I don't know about you, but it is pretty surprising to me that I'm making this kind of money in, rooms that are in my house. And so it pretty much eliminates my mortgage payment, which is really nice to have no housing expense or anything like that. So, so far, I'm loving Airbnb. I do think it'll slow down in the wintertime when not so many tourists are coming through, traveling up to Yellowstone. But I do think that maybe there will still be some, workers coming here, traveling nurses up to our hospital here. I've had a couple of them stay. And then obviously with the contractors that come here for work as well. So I'll be curious to see how it does this winter. I've never actually kept an Airbnb unit on and active during the winter. So we'll see how that does this upcoming winter. But I do know, at least in the summertime, it is a feast. And so make sure that if you're gonna jump in, don't wait any longer. Get on it, like now. And just to preview this current month of June that we're in, I'm kind of already booked out for the entire month, so I can kind of tell you what I'm projected to have. And I do have one guy staying here again that is here for the entire month until July 3rd. He paid for 31 days and paid me $1,200, which was a negotiated rate. And so my one room is booked out solely to him. I don't have to clean it at all. $1,200, boom, we're good. Second room I do have on Airbnb still, and it currently is going to it's projecting to bring in $875 this month. And we still have, I think, 4 days available out of the entire month for that room. So we could hit our $2,000 goal there for the month of June. So, I guess we're actually technically over what we did in the month of May already. So pretty awesome stuff. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for this first very rough video. I appreciate you tuning in, and I hope you kind of gained some insight into how powerful Airbnb can actually be, even if you're just gonna do a room in your house like I do. So, plenty of opportunity. Think about it. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. You can reach out to me here in the comments, and I will gladly reply. And for those of you that know me personally, feel free to reach out as well with any questions. Again, we'll keep bringing some great content to the channel. I want to branch out into more things like bank bonuses and how you can make thousands of dollars in free money using your direct deposit. I also want to talk about travel hacking and how you can travel the world for free using credit card points, and many other money-saving things that I do. Real estate just happens to be, part of that plan for me financially that helps me live the life that I want to live. So looking forward to bringing more content, and we'll see you next time.